Hey Glamfam, welcome to today's video. We're testing out the brand new Westman Atelier Vital Skincare Concealer. We're going to see how this wears on my over 46 skin. I am doing a 2-day wear test on this, so I'm actually on the second day, but I will show you guys how I applied it the first day. So let's just have some fun. If you're new here, I'm Kristi. I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's get glowing.
Let's go, girls.
Alright, my beautiful Glam sisters, let's jump right into it. If you are new to this video, welcome to my channel. I'd love for you to join our beautiful Glam fam, and if you do like this video, please remember to hit that like button because it really does help my videos out. Alright, we are testing out a brand new brand to me, okay? I know this has been out a while, but I have yet to try a Westman Atelier product. Now, this is considered, if you are not aware, which I know many of you that are watching this video probably are, but Westman Atelier is a luxury, high-end, clean beauty brand at Sephora. Unfortunately, a lot of her products include coconut derivatives, which is why you have not seen me test any of her products in the past. Now, this particular concealer that she just launched does have caprylic capric triglycerides in it. If you are new to my channel, I stay away from that ingredient because it is very pore clogging on my skin. Everyone is different, but we do have a lot of Glam sisters that are exactly the same as me. They have found my channel because they have enlarged pores or acne prone skin, and they have to stay away from coconut derivatives as well. I really wish these clean beauty brands, and a lot of these brands lately, not just clean anymore, would stay away from that particular ingredient or any type of cocoa derivatives. It really is not great for your skin. It clogs your pores a lot. So I am just testing this out for you because I wanted to see how good it was. I wanted to see if it was any better than my tried and true, beloved, holy grail. Nothing is better than this Hourglass concealer. And Hourglass is considered more of a high-end, luxury, clean beauty brand as well. Maybe not as high-end. I would equivalent Westman Atelier to I would say even like a Gucci or that type of brand. I mean, her name is Gucci Westman, but I would put it up in that category, right? You just feel the luxe in these products. I'm telling you guys, this is expensive, this concealer, but if you like packaging, you are going to love this. And I know not everybody is allergic to coconut derivatives, and not everybody has acne prone skin or enlarged pores, so they can tolerate those ingredients. Unfortunately for us, very sensitive skin girlies, we have to stay away from ingredients like that. Now, we will touch on the full ingredient list like I always do in a little bit, but this is my skin type if you are new to my channel. So I do have very sensitive acne prone skin. I am 46 years old. I'll be 47 in March. So I have mature skin with fine lines and texture. And I do have enlarged pores. So I have to be very, very mindful of what I'm putting on my skin, and especially the ingredients. Plus, I also have a lot of hyperpigmentation, sun damage, and very dry, sometimes normal skin. So just in case you don't know my skin type, I wanted to share that with you so you can get an idea of how this concealer wears on me. I think it's really important for us ladies with mature skin to rate these type of products because it is vital skincare infused. So we want to make sure that this is going on just as creamy for a $48 price point. So the Sephora site has it wrong. This is actually 6 mils of product in 0.2 ounces. So you're looking at $8 per mil. You do get a 12-month shelf life, and this is made in Italy. This brand is gluten-free, cruelty-free, vegan, and I don't smell a fragrance in there, but it doesn't say fragrance-free, just so you guys know that. Now, Sephora lists this as non-comedogenic, which really bothers me. I don't know if that's coming from the brand or Sephora, because as we already mentioned, this does have pore clogging ingredients in there. So be mindful of that. It's supposed to be hydrating and deliver a natural finish. So this precise buildable coverage concealer has been clinically shown to reduce the look of dark circles, and it features their serum strength skincare to hydrate, visibly brighten, and soothe the skin. This is supposed to be medium coverage with a natural finish. Let's take a look at those highlighted ingredients. ingredients. So we have gentian root to visibly brighten dark circles and lift and firm the look of your eye contour. It also has mini hyaluronic acid, which features a low molecular weight for optimal absorption, hydrates and visibly firms and smooths. It also has peptides to support natural collagen and soften the look of crepiness, fine lines, and crow's feet. So this breathable coverage is supposed to build and set in seconds to blur out the look of texture and deliver this creaseless finish. Let's take a look at the full ingredient list. So we have water as the first ingredient, and I just want you guys to remember, if you're new to my channel, I really focus on these ingredients and show you guys that because I want to make sure you don't see anything in there that can also potentially be something that you're allergic to or break out from if you have acne prone skin. And sometimes my Glamfam sisters are able to help me. I miss things once in a while. So we do see caprylic capric triglyceride pretty high up on the list, which means it's potent in the product. So anything high up on the list is the most potent. As it gets down towards the bottom, that's when it starts to be more minimal in there. You do also see another form of coconut derivatives with cocoa caprylic capret lower down on the list, but now you have two forms of coconut derivatives in there. You also see the licorice root extract and obviously the coffee seed extract right there. So let's jump into the shade. So I didn't have Westman Atelier at my particular Sephora that I went to. I have several here, but I did end up going with L3, which looked like a pretty darn good match. Now this is only available in 16 shades. That's not a lot of shades, you guys. I have to admit that. Like we're not going to sugarcoat it. I just feel like maybe they're flexible shades, but really that's a short list. And L3 is considered light golden. It was a little on the gold side for me. Next time I will try light neutral if I were to do this all over again, just because I like a little bit more brightening. So that is what I look like without the concealer. Let's pop that concealer on. Now I do like this doe foot applicator. It applied very nicely. I went semi-light. I went with what I feel comfortable with. Everyone's different. Some people might like less than that. And I tried to do a brush first, which I used the BK Beauty A506, and I wanted to see how, and I like to do one side at a time because I want to make sure that the dry down time is a good timing, right? I don't want it to, if it dries down too fast and I didn't give the concealer a chance. But this one, you'll have some good time with this, and it is nice and creamy. I do like that texture, and it blended out really beautifully with the BK Beauty A506. I really did like the way this, I mean, it was just a no-brainer. It was so easy to blend out, and it really does give you a nice medium coverage that is quite buildable, I have to say that. I actually liked the finish better with the sponge. That's my favorite way to apply this particular concealer in this type of consistency. So that is what it looks like with the concealer, and that is what it looks like without the concealer. So you guys can see the differences right there. I don't have a lot of hyperpigmentation under my eye to cover, but sometimes I do. I had a little bit of dark circles that day. I don't know if you can tell, but I can. My lights are going to make it look a little bit better, so I will show you guys in a second what it looks like outside of my studio lights, standing by the door and natural daylight coming in. But before we do that, let's apply the other side. So I went in with that same amount, and then I took the Dose of Colors sponge and started to blend it out. I personally like it better with the sponge, you guys. I think it almost, for me, did the opposite what it normally does. Usually the brush gives me more coverage, but this time the sponge gave me more coverage. And I like it better with my Hourglass one too. For some reason, with this type of creamy consistency, I just think they apply effortlessly and beautiful, and just, I don't know what it is. It just gives me the perfect finish when I use a sponge with this type of consistency. But you guys can be the judge of that, and you have to try it out yourself. But the BK Beauty A506 was really good as well. And those are my two favorite applicators for concealers. Just the ones I reach for the most, let's put it that way. But it looks really beautiful, and that's kind of both sides right there. Now let's take a look at it in natural daylight right by my door outside. And oh my gosh, you guys, it looks really beautiful. I have to say, this is a very gorgeous concealer. Really, really pretty. And I just think it looks really nice. Even that color just really blends in, which is really nice for my ladies out there that don't want that contrast between light and dark. Now let's set this under eye. You guys know I always set especially when I'm doing concealer wear test, I want to make sure I'm giving this the best, and this is what works for me. So I went in with my one size. I like the 2R. I was trying the 5, but I really like the 2R. There's something about that pink undertone that just really complements my undertones. So I went in with my Makeup Forever puff. You guys know that's the only puff I set my concealer with. It's just magical. And I just set that down, and it really just looked flawless, you guys. It looked airbrushed almost. It was really, really pretty. It was giving me the same type of vibes that my Hourglass does, but really nice. Not as much pigment. I have to add in a little bit more powder for that pigment, where with the Hourglass, I don't have to do that. So it's just one thing to keep in mind. And then I went in with my Chantecaille Petal, because you guys know I like to use this as a natural highlighter. It's just, and it blurs out my pores. There's just nothing better than that. I truly love it so, so much. I just tried the Mario setting powder, and I just did not care for it as much as other people did. So anyway, everyone's different. Like I said, you have to find your method, what works for you. This is my method. Now let's take a look at what it looked like outside really quick before we jump into my final thoughts, because I'm already on day 2. You guys, that day 1 outdoor footage was absolutely stunning. I mean, I was out all day that day, and it looked really beautiful, even with two layers, I would say, and over 46 skin. That's pretty darn good. I have a little bit of Botox just on my forehead and the 11s right here, but I don't have anything under my eye area. So that's all al naturel from my age. And again, I'll be 47, so it's a good test on somebody who actually has mature skin, and not the girls in their 30s that still look pretty good, you know? They don't have a lot to deal with, but really gorgeous. I absolutely love it. So we're back in day 2 now in studio, and I just want to go over my final thoughts on this. I don't want to take up too much of your time. If you are new to my channel, I like to rate my products, and we kind of go through the 5 things that I look at to help you guys decide whether or not this is a concealer for you. Now keep in mind, Sephora sale is just around the corner, so don't run out and get this now, especially for a $48 price point. I would wait if I were you. So these are the categories I look at. I take a look at application. I want to make sure it's applying smooth. I look at the overall finish, how it looks on my skin personally. So keep that in mind. I also look at the shade range. Was I able to find a shade? And then I look at the overall wear time. How did it wear on my mature skin? I look at the packaging. Is the packaging functionable? Do I get the product out? All those good things. And then I give you guys my final glam score out of 25. So let's take a look at application. Application, I mean, it really did apply so smooth and creamy and easy. It was just so easy to blend out, and to me that's really, really important. Can I use any tool for this? You can absolutely use any tool for this. Whether you want to use a brush or a sponge, it's going to work. They both blend out beautifully. But as already mentioned, my preferable method would be a sponge. I just think it really gave the most flawless application in my personal application experience. So please keep that in mind. And another thing I like to look at in application is how did it play with the other products? Was I able to use it with my foundation contour? Did my powders lift it? And I absolutely felt like this just blended seamlessly with all of my products. So it really did marry well with everything I put on my face. And I used contour, I used powder, I used a skin tint foundation, and it all played well together. So I really do appreciate that. So I am going to give the overall application a solid 5 out of 5. As for the overall finish, they describe this as a natural finish, and I have to say 100% this is a natural finish. These are the things that I look for. Was it hydrating? Was it creamy? Was it blurring because that's what it's supposed to be. And I kind of give you my star level there of where I felt like hydrating. I felt like it was about a 3 out of 5. I mean, I don't think it was like super hydrating, but I do think it was blurring. I have to say that I'm going to give blurring a 5 out of 5 because I did feel like that was, I think it blurred out my texture really nicely. And it felt almost tightening for some reason. I don't know, which is good for us ladies, especially over 45. I did feel this tightening sensation. I don't know what that was. I don't know. There's something in that skincare, the caffeine. I don't know, but it's just feeling a little bit tighter. And I kind of dig that. I have to admit that. And I do feel like it was very smoothing. I thought that had a very smoothing feel to it. And I did appreciate that. And you do get coverage, but you don't get as much coverage as you do with the Hourglass because the pigment level is not where the Hourglass is. I'll put the percentages between the two and I'll show you guys the swatches and blending them both out side by side right there. And I have to say, I still feel like the Hourglass surpasses the coverage on this. You don't have to put as much product on and it lasts all day. So for me, I would personally reach for the Hourglass one more than this one, because it doesn't have coconut derivatives in it. I will definitely reach for it more, but also the pigment level in general. This one didn't even have the coconut derivatives, and just based off the actual finish, I would still choose the Hourglass one. For me, personally, that's where I'm at with that. So I'm gonna give the overall finish a 4 out of 5. As for the shade range, I do feel like I found a very beautiful shade that matched me perfectly. Absolutely. For my own preference level, I like, again, a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter, and not as golden. So for me, I would have liked to have tried the L2 Neutral, but this isn't one that I can use because it has so much coconut derivatives in it. It's not worth it to me. But if you're a twinsy to me and you like it to just be natural, then L3 is a perfect choice for you. 16 shades, not a lot of shades, you guys. I think they can do better than that, especially this day and age, and for being a high-end brand. So I'm gonna give shade range a 3 out of 5 for that. Even though I found my perfect shade, someone else might not find their shade. So just because of a 16 shade range, I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 5. As for the overall wear time, let's take a look at day one. Again, I just showed it to you guys. It wears beautifully, you guys. It really does. There's no creasing. I had 0 creasing. I don't crease too much with concealers, some, but so I'm probably not the best person for this, but I honestly didn't feel like this one moved a lot. I don't know if it's that tightening sensation, but I gotta tell you guys, this wears beautifully on mature skin. So if you don't have a lot to cover, you're not allergic to coconut derivatives, you're really gonna enjoy this concealer. And then now let's take a look at today's outside footage and how it was wearing about 6 hours into wearing it. And again, it looks beautiful outside. I mean, just truly, I did the sponge only on this look right here. I am using the same foundation, same everything. So just different eyeshadow, kind of slightly different eyeshadow, obviously a different day. But all in all, it still wears so pretty. Even right now, I mean, looking at in studio, like 0 creasing, and I'm still getting that coverage. Now on today's look, the only thing I did differently was I did use the Surratt, and you guys know this Perfectionist palette in shade 2 is just my holy grail. My holy grail. I cannot live without this product, and you can use this as like an under eye finishing powder, and it's beautiful. It has like violet undertones. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I did a little bit of color correcting because I had a little bit more dark circles today, and I had that sun damage right here. So I did a little bit of the darker one just to kind of color correct those areas, and then I just went in with the same amount and I just did the sponge. Now I only, like the other day, just focused under my eye, and I did like Hourglass on like the T-zone areas right here to kind of do the contour, but other than that, exactly the same. So as far as the overall wear time, you guys, I mean, it just wore so beautifully on my skin. So I'm gonna give that a solid 5 out of 5. As for the packaging, oh my gosh, you guys, I have to say, compared to the Hourglass packaging, this is just beats it. It's just so incredibly beautiful. I absolutely love it. I don't know the size comparison, so I will put it right there. This is actually 0.2 ounces and 6 mils of product. So you're getting the same amount of product that you do in the Hourglass concealer, but you are paying $8 per mil. Just keep that in mind. Anyway, the packaging on this is stunning. It feels solid. It feels luxe. If I'm paying $48, I feel like I paid my money's worth for this packaging. Like truly, it is absolutely stunning. The product comes out very nicely. I had no issues. Now, the only thing is you don't get a whole lot of product in there. I'm going to be honest with you guys. You will run through this really fast. As beautiful as this is, you will run through it very, very fast. And I have to take that into consideration, you guys. I truly do. I do like that it's made in Italy. It's a 12-month shelf life. I don't like the ingredients in there. So I'm going to kind of incorporate all of that into this. And when I'm looking at that, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. So we're looking at a total glam score of 21 out of 25. Would I repurchase this product? No. And that is only because of 2 forms of coconut derivatives in there. And I just can't see myself reaching for it as much. I would just much rather use my Hourglass one. So why would I need to repurchase this? Would I return this product? Absolutely. Just because, you guys, I can't keep a $48 concealer when I cannot use it, unfortunately. So I would love for Westman Atelier, because I absolutely love the consistency and I really love the brand. I just wish she would stop using coconut derivatives. I really would. And it's not just for me, because there's a lot of Glamfam sisters out there that don't like coconut derivatives. So it's just something I wish more influencers, when they're reviewing products, would be more transparent about. And if more of us speak up, the brand would listen and they go, okay, you know what? Maybe I should not include that so much. Maybe let's try to find something else, because they found something else. They found a method that worked. And a lot of people, there's a reason why this is one of the #1 concealers out there. It's phenomenal. So if you're looking for a good concealer and you haven't tried this one yet, this one I would recommend over this one. But another one I would recommend, and it does have one form of coconut derivative, is the Surratt concealer, Dewdrop concealer. I think that one is just as good as that one, and that one has it I think a little bit lower down in the ingredient list, and it's not like 2 forms of it. So for me, I just think Surratt made in Japan is always better than even though I love everything made in Italy, anything made in Japan has the strictest regulations, and their government is like really will come down on them. So when you're looking at a clean brand, that to me, even though they don't claim to be clean beauty, is more clean than somebody that considers himself clean beauty, just in my opinion. So that's where my thoughts are with that. Don't come for me in the comments if you love Westman Atelier. This is just my own personal opinions, okay? And my own personal skin type. So please keep that in mind. I feel like sometimes influencers, we don't win, because if we absolutely love a product, then we're getting paid by the brand or blah, blah, blah. There's a reason, right? There's just always, and then if we don't like something and somebody that watches the video really likes it, it's like, well, why don't you like it? What's wrong with you? But you have to remember, we can't win as influencers. It's not gonna happen. So some products are gonna work really well for me and not for you, vice versa. So always try it yourself. I already told you guys, it does work really beautiful. I'm just unhappy with the ingredients. That's all. That's where I'm at with it. If this did not have any coconut derivatives, this would have been #2. Okay, that's where I'm at with it. But because it does, that's unfortunately, this is still gonna reign #1. Plus, to me, this one's just a little bit better in general. So let's take a look at my top concealers, just in case any of you want to know, for the Sephora sale coming up. And of course, Hourglass is #1. And I absolutely just cannot tell you guys enough how I keep comparing and reviewing a lot of concealers, and this one still just reigns true to everything I am looking for personally for my skin type. Dior Forever is another one. I think that one's gonna probably be number 2. And then I also love, love, love the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Concealer. I don't know why, but recently I have been reaching for that one a lot. So for my girlies out there that like that skincare infused concealer, that one doesn't have coconut derivatives in it. It is more natural. You're not getting as much pigment out of it. But for my natural days, I reach for that one a lot, alongside the Makeup Forever HD Skin Concealer. And those are my shades right there. Just in case any of you are similar skin tones and you're like, what other shades does she wear? I like to show that. Plus where I rank them. I'm just naming off the concealers I personally reach for a lot. And then Surratt is probably gonna be number 3 because even though it has Cocoa Capric in it, it just, that there's something very magical about that concealer, and I still love it a lot. But I have to make sure I stay underneath my eye, which is why it will never be number 1 for me, and Hourglass will reign number 1 for me. But those are my top concealers right there. So hopefully that helps you guys out. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for spending your time with me and hearing out my review. Again, like I always say, take my reviews with a grain of salt and make sure you guys find what works best for you, because we all have different skin types. And if you are new here, before you go, please remember to hit that subscribe button and click that post notification bell. Join our beautiful Glam fam. We're here every week. And please, if you like this video, give it a huge thumbs up when you guys hit the like button and say hello. It really does help my videos out. I am here weekly for shorts, so you can check that out. I'm also on Instagram and I'm also on TikTok. I do have a blog, KristiAllure.com, where you can go there for my skincare, all the affiliate links. I have just a wealth of information on there. I also have my merch, which does help support my channel, Glamorous Life Collections. And I'd really love for you guys to utilize any of the links of any of the products that I have on my face or talked about or mentioned in this video. As always, when you guys utilize those links, it really does help a smaller channel like me. Be sure to check out that video next, and I will see you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.
I'm holding on, if almost gone. Someday I know I'll finally make it. I know that we can go higher if we keep our faith, if we keep our faith. Sometimes I'm like a whisper